Hey, so as I'm sitting here in my backyard, excuse the lawnmower, um, I'm in deep thought about relationships and how difficult it is for me. Probably not just me. I'm sure other people struggle with it as well. But specifically, I'm making observations over as to where to place people in my life, and that doesn't mean that I'm discarding people. It just means that the expectation of relationship has shifted to not expect much, right? So what I mean by that is, as I've gotten older, I really recognize that building relationships with women is very difficult. Um, why that tends to be difficult tends to be personality differences, or you know other things that wouldn't naturally gel in a relationship. But the most common thing that I've noticed about the relationship dynamics with me and other women has been in the inability for others to not deal with, can't, well, I should say, people can't typically handle someone disagreeing with them. So typically for myself, what ends up happening is I'll be in conversation with the person, or we're getting to know one another, and they'll make a statement, something that may be that I challenge, and just in simply challenging because of the my position or my opinion, which doesn't equal right, but I'm a facts girl. So when I talk about things, I try to talk about only things that I know about. So if a person is speaking to me and is meaning to communicate something that is true or factual, and I know about it, I tend to try to correct the wrong, if that makes sense. And I think in that, people feel challenged by me and don't really care for me, and that's fine. I mean, I'm okay with that. Like, I tend to treat people regardless of how they feel the same. It's kind of like one of my things. It feels very political in my opinion, but um, I just think it's strange, and I know I'm not the only one. I talk to many women, and they all seem to have the same complex dynamic in relationships. I think that part of that is because I come from a large family, and with that being said, being in a large family, I have a lot of sisters, so, and a lot of brothers. So when I'm if I don't have existential relationships outside of my household, they tend to fall into the category of siblings, or my in-laws that are siblings to me. So largely, I don't feel a deep void of relationships. But being in Texas, of course, we don't have any family here, and therefore a lot of the people that I connect with will become eventually like family in a sense. But that's one of the things that I've just kind of noticed, and maybe you were going through it as well. I just know that it's a complex issue that I'm trying to strive through, and not necessarily throw people away, but just more or less put them where they belong. If they are a person that is in the regular rhythm of your life, even for a season, they may not be exactly a friend, but they could be an acquaintance. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you can still apply cordial, respectful conversations and be just as kind and honoring to the person without having to label them as a friend, which I feel that puts a expectation on a relationship when I call you a friend. And I expect my friends to show up in a way that I would show up for them. And granted, like, I'm not perfect, and of course I have my own issues and things like that. So I don't assume that, in my lack of perfection, I'm blaming others. But I do find it to be a common pattern, and with my pattern recognition, I see it often and regularly. It's usually jealousy. It's usually things that I don't even comprehend. Like, women that are jealous are wild to me. I'm not like the typical girl that tends to sit in the spaces that typical girls would. Like, I'm fairly tomboyish, so therefore I'm not like makeup, clothes, and all the things I enjoy. Things like I enjoy. You know what I mean? And they don't often fall into the category of girliness. So I think typically people have an expectation of me, and when I don't show up in the way they assumed I would be, it's sort of like an oxymoron. So I don't know. I'm just kind of ranting, but I just thought I'd share that. Thanks.